Have you ever experienced a heartbreak? Yes, it sucks. Heartbreaks are terrible, but have you ever been in a situation where your best friend or one of your really good friends gets into a relationship and you feel like you have to mourn that relationship as if you guys were basically dating? That is what we're talking about in this episode. Heartbreak sucks, of course, but friendship breakups are 12 times worse. Welcome back to another episode of Way Too Wifey. I'm your host, respectfully Gabby, and in this podcast, we talk all things dating, relationships, and of course, self-love in this modern day. And if you are new here, hi, I'm Gabby. I'm an online dating coach where I help you transform your confidence to live your best lives inside and outside of relationships. It all starts from within. And if you don't feel right from within, if you still have the core wounds that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, and you keep falling into situationships, you keep falling into relationships where that person doesn't necessarily always appreciate you, that you are going to continue to attract the same type of relationship, the same kind of partner if you don't heal that core wound. That is what we work on my 8-week transformation program, getting you to feel like the best magnetic version of yourself. If you're curious about coaching, if you've ever had questions about it, hit the link in my bio, book a discovery call with me. I want to work with you. Also, we have new merch out. I am only keeping it up for a limited time. So if you have not done so already, hoodies and sweatshirts are up. I have a black option and a gray option, starting very minimum right now. Eventually probably will expand it, but those are now live on my page. And then also please join my newsletter. I have the hottest tea. Also offer sometimes free coaching. So if you want to be a part of that, please hit the stand link in my bio. So I am in the midst of kind of experiencing this for myself, and I'm going to be very careful about what I'm saying because I think that, it's still fresh. Truly have been wanting to make this episode for a very long time. I am in the midst of it. So I think when you're kind of experiencing it, it's a little bit easier to relate to and communicate about. I have a really good friend here who recently got into a relationship, has been with him quite frequently, and to be fair, we spent a lot of time prior to, and there's nothing, by the way, that I'm saying in this episode that I've not spoken with her about, because look, I've been on both sides of the coin and I will talk about both sides, but just as a quick little overview of what's going on, she's gotten into a relationship, right? And we spent so much time prior to this relationship entering her life. It was like complete night and day. Like I went from seeing her Thursday to Sunday to maybe once a week, if that. And if it was once a week, I mean, like it was probably for like 30 minutes. I have seen this happen so many times, and it honestly is like so sad to me because I've seen it happen to other friends and their best friend. I had a friend in Miami, and these two girls that were besties, attached at the hip, did everything together. You couldn't see one without the other kind of friendship. And it's so cute to see. I love when women have that other half of themselves. As soon as one got into a relationship, it was like a breakup for the other one. And when I was hanging out with the other girl who was experiencing the breakup, sucks that this is kind of like a part of life. I think we have to realize that this is such a part of life that happens that you don't even really prepare yourself for, because you're like, okay, well, my best friend's always going to be there. And it's not that they're not there, but it's just in a different form. As much as it sucks and you have to kind of like maneuver your life outside of this person that you thought was your one dependable person. And I think even coming here to Dubai, I think moving in general, I always try to make friends before getting into a relationship or trying to date seriously, because I think having your life outside of that person is so important. But I think it almost ended up backfiring on me because I made it like a really good friend here. And I was like, okay, well, like I have, my other friends, but this is like my main friend. And now that she has left, I'm like, wait, this is kind of like dealing with a breakup, because I am kind of starting from scratch. What I was originally intended to set out to do kind of backfired, because now I'm back at square one and kind of have to figure out, okay, well now who do I hang out with? What does my life look like now? But I think when you're going through it, there is a little bit of resentment that you feel towards that person, because this isn't the first time that this has happened to me. I've been on both sides before. The big thing is that you have to allow that other person to make their own decisions. First of all, we're going to talk about if it's toxic or if it's healthy. If that relationship is toxic that you see your friend getting into, it's almost more of an anger. You're like, what don't you see? Why can't you get out of this? Why are you being like this? This isn't you. And you want to shake this person because you care so much about them, and then they're also abandoning you. And so it's like this double, like, I'm annoyed because you left me. I'm annoyed because you're with this toxic person that's not giving you what you need. And I feel like you deserve the world and I want good for you. Then on the other side of it, if it is healthy, because I've had that happen too, where my best friend at the time, years ago, she got into a relationship with a guy after we had spent so much time together. It kept dialing back the amount of time that we would spend together. And it was like, it did hurt my feelings. We had a complete blow up of a conversation and we got so much clarity from it. I'm like, dude, I just fucking miss you. Like, I just want to spend time with you. Like, we went from spending so much time together. We had weekly meetings that we would always do on Wednesdays. And then you completely ditched me. Every Wednesday you would then spend with him. So it was like night and day. And after the conversation, she did make an effort to put me back into her life. And I think that when your friend is in a healthy relationship, of course you want to be happy for them. And I think that I was happy for her because I really did like the guy, but it was just like, dude, I miss you. And I think if you have a conversation with someone that your best friend or your friend that has basically ditching you and they're in a healthy relationship, they're going to make the efforts to be like, okay, yeah, maybe I am kind of putting you on the back burner and let me see where I can put you back into my life. And I'm sorry, but we had the conversation and things got better. And there was times where I would hang out with the both of them and I loved hanging out with both of them. And the thing is, you know, your friend is in a good relationship when their significant other doesn't just want a partner, but he wants to be a partner. I think that when a guy just wants a girlfriend, he wants her to be in his life, consumed with everything that he has going on, whether that's work related, friend related, family related, whatever. He wants her to be immersed in his life, have access to her at all times, whenever it's convenient for him. Whereas when someone wants to be a partner, he's like, actually, yeah, go hang out with your friends. Like, I want you to have some time with your friends to spend because you haven't seen them in a while, and I care about you and I care about your friends and I care about the way that your friends think about me. So why don't you go do this? Or like, let's all do something together. I want to be around you and your friends and your family without it feeling like this obligation. I've been in a relationship where he did not give a shit about my friend or my family, and it would be such an obligation for him to spend some time with my friends or my family. And I would always feel so anxious when he was around because I knew that my friends and my family weren't as approving of him because he never wanted to be around. And he made that very obvious when he was in the presence of them. I think that's how you can tell if your friend is in a good relationship or not. The thing is, you have to give that other person grace because we're all dealing with our own shit. We're all processing things from our own traumas, our own past. And I'm so thankful that while I was in that relationship, the best friend that I had at the time, she was so understanding. She listened to me every time we got together, broke up, got together, break up. It was this constant cycle, and she was always there for me. She never judged my decisions. She was like, I'm supporting you. I don't agree with it, but I'm supporting you. Whatever you need, I'm here for you. You can vent to me. I'm here. And I kid you not, that has shaped who I am as a person. That shaped who I am as a friend, because that is all I needed at the moment. I know that it was a toxic relationship. I knew that it was something that I shouldn't be involved in, but I couldn't get myself out of it. And there was so many lessons that I learned from it that I needed to learn from it. And I think it's hard too when you see your friends in toxic relationships. You're like, I've been through this. Why can't you see? The thing is, they do see. They do see the red flags. They see what's going on, but they're choosing to ignore it. And they're making those choices because there's something that they have to learn from that relationship. So give them the grace, give them the respect to make their own decisions. I promise you, when the time comes, they'll probably come running back. As a good friend, you're gonna allow them back into your lives with open arms, without any judgment, and give them the space to feel and process and whatever. I think that is the best thing that you can do. I just hate when friends are so judgmental. It's like, yes, okay, of course your friend is in a shitty relationship. They're not doing well. You see all the red flags blatantly in front of you, and then you're judging them and like condemning them in a way because you want them to act how you want them to act and you want them to be better, of course. What is that doing for your friendship? Because that person is learning and healing and processing all of the shit that they're currently going through that they can't escape because internally their whole system is off and they're trying to figure life out like we all are. We've all made shitty decisions. So give them the grace to make the decisions for themselves. When your friend has left you for a man or you're experiencing a friend breakup, I always like to think of this time as making space for more people to come into your life, for better opportunities to come into your life. Think of it as an opportunity as opposed to a loss. Like, yes, maybe they're still your friend, but every friend that I've ever had that has gotten into a relationship and has dialed back how much they're spending time with me, I've always ever benefited from it. It sucked in the moment and I had to process in the moment, but the first time this happened with my best friend in Orlando, it sucked. I was really hurt by it, but I also started to think more about myself. We spent so much time together and our lives kind of intermingled. My sole focus was like the friendship, work, and that's basically it. After she had gotten into a relationship, it led so much more space in my life to think about what I wanted in my own life. And in that moment where I was like, okay, I've experienced a breakup recently. My friend also basically broke up with me because she's with this man. And now I have to figure out what do I want out of my life? Who do I want in my life? In that moment is when I decided to move to Miami. I'm like, this is the time. I have nothing tying me to Orlando anymore. This is my time to move on and move up and move away from where I'm at right now. I don't think I would have made that decision had I still been in the same routine with my friend. Another decision after that, when I did move to Miami, I had another friend that I was really close with and she got into a relationship and stopped hanging out with me as much. And then I had opened the door, I had opened space for a lot more new friends that had come into my life after the fact. But I think that sometimes what you want isn't necessarily aligned with where you're at. Not saying that there's anything wrong with my friends or that there's anything wrong with your friends if you are experiencing some kind of form of a breakup. Just know that maybe me spending so much time with my friend has prevented me from growing, meeting other people. It has prevented me from putting more effort into my work, putting more effort into dating, because I've been so focused on like, okay, well, I already know what I'm gonna do with my Saturday through all my other plans. Maybe this is just an opportunity for you to grow and experience other things. So think of it as an opportunity as opposed to a loss. Accept that some friendships come and go and not everyone is meant to stay in your life for forever. And that given that short span of time that someone was with you, appreciate it for what it was, but know that things are meant to change. People are meant to evolve. People are meant to grow and move on. And it is okay to put someone else on the back burner, but still be friends with them, but still move on with your life and take other opportunities to grow. But that is it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some kind of value out of this. And if you did, please leave that thumbs up, 5-star rating. I will see you all next Tuesday.